One. Hello, welcome to the Philosophy of Sports, where we review hot takes and up-to-date information on everything NFL, NBA, MLB, and college football. I'm your host, Tom Gentile.
And co-host Phil Gentile.
Make sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and our YouTube channel, as it would be a big help to us in maintaining our talk show. Thank you so much for supporting this channel. Now let's get into today's episode, where we are going to preview the two wildcard weekend playoff games of the NFL playoffs today. And the first one on the slate is the Seahawks at 49ers. And then later tonight on NBC, you'll get the Chargers at Jaguars. This is all that we're going to be reviewing today. And we will drop a video on tomorrow's games tomorrow and Monday's games on Monday. So Seahawks at 49ers. Seahawks looked great to start out the year, took a major downturn, but still backed into a playoff spot. 49ers, they looked pretty solid and then just ramped up. 10-game winning streak during this game today, and they look unstoppable with Brock Purdy.
Mr. Irrelevant somehow seems relevant now. I think it's mostly a surrounding cast, but he's been pretty perfect, and they have a big quarterback quandary coming up, but they can deal with that in the off season. Today, I think they just throttle them. That's just kind of my take on it.
Oh yeah. Seattle's gonna get drilled today.
I think the Seahawks did good to end up in the playoffs. Nobody thought that when Russ the Cooker was shipped off, but it seems like Pete Carroll knows more than we think that he does. He turned out, and Gino is a lot better this year than Russ, and going forward, maybe a lot less wear and tear on the body. I can tell you that right now.
I mean, it really has to you really have to say, if everything's clicking, 49ers are going to make a deep playoff run. They have probably one of the best defenses in football, a great offensive unit that easily meshes together. They're looking like the Super Bowl contender that they need to be whenever they're healthy. And even though they weren't necessarily a healthy team this year, they're looking like a Super Bowl contender.
Correct. So we can both agree on the Niners taking this.
Oh God!
In a non game. Okay.
Oh my God!
There's a talent differential there that can't be overcome, probably.
Well, it's not supposed to mean anything. Listen, it doesn't matter. Seattle's playing with house money right now. The playoffs aren't in their best interest unless if they pull one out today, which is just not going to happen. Their best interest is the number 5 overall pick.
Correct.
So you can thank the stars for that. But imagine getting imagine getting to play, some extra football and getting a top 5 pick.
That's perfect. They're in a good spot. They'll do better next year.
Yeah, definitely. There's not really much to say else about that game, but there is a lot to say about the game tonight, which is going to be the Chargers at the Jaguars.
Correct.
So, first off, I think this shows what a terrible coach Urban Meyer was.
I agree. He was horrible, egomaniac. He's out of coaching, probably should stay out of coaching, maybe go back to the collegiate level. I don't think he's going to be welcome in the pros anymore. Too many scandals. He's selfish. He was an asshole. And
I don't even think
he's where he should be right now, which is unemployed.
I honestly think that he just shouldn't get a job again. Holy shit.
Terrible. What a waste of an entire year.
And that's the thing. Even though Doug Peterson wasn't the best coach of the Jaguars could have hired, he was a coach that knows how to develop people, and that's what this team needs. Now, am I going to say that the Jaguars are going to compete for a Super Bowl run this year? Absolutely not. They're too raw.
No, but they're working on it. I mean, they've been seeing incremental improvements throughout the year. Trevor Lawrence is ready to take the next step. He's ready to join the Justin Herberts and the Joey B and the rest of them that came out. Tua, he's ready to be noticed along with those guys as the young up and coming quarterbacks. I mean, they said he was a perfect prospect coming out of college, and he didn't look like it last year because it was a wasted year. I mean, so really, he's a rookie in a real
really
system.
Is a rookie.
He in a real system. He's a rookie this year, and that chicken shit system of Urban Meyer. Then no, that was a wasted year. That was a year that it's out of his life. He can't get it back, but he can move forward and get better. Thank God Urban Meyer's gone. He was terrible. Never liked him.
But I mean, just how bad he was last year and just all the stuff. And I'm proud of the Jaguars for making it here. They've been, I mean, God hated the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Well, they've been through the grinder this year or last year, and they came out and they made the best of this year. I mean, look at where they are. There's a lot of teams that would trade places with them.
Yeah,
but back that's another. I think I'm not really sure exactly what's going on with Vegas here. I think you got Jacksonville at home with a much better coach and an equally hot quarterback. I'm not sure why Los Angeles is favored here. I mean, I personally, I've got Jacksonville, but just by the slimmest of margins, maybe 3 points tops. I think it'll be a competitive game. It'll go back and forth, but I don't see this. I just don't see San Diego overcoming those two odds with their coach and being on the road.
And I'm gonna get to that. I'm gonna get to that in a minute.
Okay.
Oh, you don't worry. I'm gonna get to that in a minute. I did want to say one more thing.
Yeah.
I was hoping to do a video, just a special on the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now is not really the time and place to do this, but I just wanted to say this now. The Jacksonville Jaguars are the hell of the NFL. And the reason I say that is not because, oh, they're a tough team to play. Oh, nobody wants to go in and have them on the other side of the field, on the other sideline and whatnot. It's not like the Lions. No, the Lions are a really tough team to play. They show fight, they show tenacity, and the Lions took a major improvement this year and won these games. But they're still always they're always a tough team to play. The Jacksonville Jaguars, they introduce competitive teams to fears that they didn't even know that they had. I mean, think about it. Like, okay, the Jaguars swept the Titans this year in the season series. And the Titans, they got exposed for how fraudulent they are, for the fact that Ryan Tannehill is not the guy and will never be the guy. Malik Willis will never be the guy. He will be out of the NFL in a couple of years. And Todd Downing is terrible. Mike Vrabel is surrounded by a bunch of terrible coaches, and their system is extremely fraudulent. The Cowboys this year, a team that looked unstoppable. Absolutely nothing, no weaknesses to expose. Jacksonville exposed a weakness in that loss, and I'm just going to say it. That weakness is, I'm just going to say it. It's Dak, I think.
Well,
I mean, everybody else is a top player at their position, except for Dak. He's not quite the best quarterback in the league. Tony Pollard and Ezekiel Elliott are two of the best running backs in the league. Micah Parsons is one of the best defenders in the league. Yeah. Cowboys got a great receiving core, but it's the receiving core in Dak. The Jaguars exposed that fear for Cowboys fans when they beat them. Going with today. Go back to no, one more example. One more example. Last year, when they played the Colts in the last game of the season. Now, they were lost. I mean, what? They were a 2-win team entering that game? Yeah, 2-win team entering that game. And then they blew them out. The Colts, they didn't seem like they could really be stopped just because of how good Jonathan Taylor was. Lo and behold, they showed that Carson Wentz is probably one of the worst quarterback draft busts since Ryan fucking Leaf. He was.
Yeah, yeah. He doesn't seem to be an NFL quarterback and
He's
anything
not
but
an NFL
reputation
quarterback.
only.
He's not an NFL quarterback, not anymore. I mean, he keeps getting replaced and thrown to the wayside. He got thrown to the wayside and then boom, Philly wins the Super Bowl. He got thrown to the wayside and, I mean, multiple times over, he goes to the Colts and with their rent a QB strategy, I don't even know what that's all about. And then he gets thrown into Washington and he sucks. He gets benched multiple times over. I mean, he sucks. And Jacksonville kind of undid him.
Yeah, yeah. I guess you can take it back to that game.
I got Jacksonville again by a slim margin with this because here's something. The Chargers have a lot of weaknesses, and Jacksonville has no problem exposing them. And one of the weaknesses starts at the top. Brandon fucking Staley.
Yeah,
If you
smart.
want to talk about one of the biggest morons to ever coach an NFL football team and to have this job for over a year, look no further than Brandon Staley. And even though he's made so many questionable moves in the past, the big one, the ultra one,
Mega.
has to be last week when he played all of his starters and now Mike Williams is out for the playoffs. And don't say this thing, oh, what if the Chargers make a run? They're not going to make a run. They're going to lose tonight. I can almost guarantee it. I mean, just with how hyper analytical he is. I mean, most coaches are just morons, but Brandon Staley, he kind of takes it with a little bit of a grain of salt, being like, oh yeah, well, if I do this and I do this and I do that, and if I run the numbers and do all of this, and you still lose, you're wasting
Plus his
Herbert's
team's
potential.
hurt,
You're
and
wasting this team's potential. You're
he's going
wasting
against a
Herbert's
better
potential.
coach.
You're
He knows
wasting
he's going to get
Herbert's
outcoached
potential
today.
right here.
Yeah.
I mean, what did you actually think that Herbert was going to be some bust in the NFL? Absolutely not. He keeps bailing the Chargers out. He's the reason the Chargers even have 10 wins this year.
Agreed.
I'm just going to say it. If the Chargers still had Phillip Rivers in their system, a decent fit, not prime Phillip Rivers, but a decent Phillip Rivers, they'd be 9-8, maybe even 8-9, maybe 7-10. I mean, Brandon Staley fucking sucks, man.
Yeah, he's
He
not.
is. I mean, he
He blew it last week.
overanalyzes everything. He demands too much out of his players. He's all aggressive and hardcore with a team that just doesn't need that in their system.
Yeah. So we both agree on this game too.
Jacksonville by a slim margin. I'm going to go as far as probably say it's going to be a one-score game. It could be 7 points. It could be 4 points. It could be 3 points.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's going to
Still
be.
see Jacksonville winning. Better coach at home. Home field advantage counts for 3 points right there. And they're playing good, which is
They're red hot. The Chargers are in a skid right now.
So, okay. Well, then we go. We got our picks for the day.
I mean, that's another thing is that the Chargers, they win one game, they lose one game. They can never develop a streak. The Jaguars are won, what, 5 straight?
I think so. I think that's
something like
they had to do that to get into the playoffs, and they did it.
Yeah, they won 5 straight. They won 5 straight to win the division, and then the Chargers, on the other hand, well, they went 4-1 in their last 5. They won a 4-game winning streak before losing to the Broncos in a meaningless game. I mean, just come on, man.
Got to
Come
protect your
on.
players. That was dumb.
Is dumb. And I feel like he's just going to make more of these stupid decisions. If I was Dean Spanos, well, if I was Dean Spanos, the team would still be in San Diego. But if I was Dean Spanos, I would fire him regardless. I would fire him unless if he makes it to the Super Bowl.
Okay, that's an interesting take.
I would fire him if he loses in the AFC Championship game. I'd just go out and say, you know what, you're done. I mean, you're wasting potential here because Justin Herbert has the potential to be among the greats like Patty Mahomes, Josh Allen, Joey B, and he's sort of middling in a group that he just doesn't deserve to be in.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well,
we agree on both the takes today, and we're going to go back and do more of this tomorrow, right?
yes.
Okay. Well, that's the end of today's show. Look for us tomorrow for some more hot takes and opinions, and we'll see how we did. We're both on the same page, though, for today.
All right. Thank you so much, and we'll see y'all tomorrow. Goodbye.
Bye.